I don't know, should I wear a hat? My hair looks a little fucking weird. You know, I kind of woke up like this. So, I'm a psychic. You're thinking, no, you're not.
That's sensational.
Sing your heart out.
Get God! God!
Be happy.
You have the right to remain silent.
Shut up!
Anything you say will be used against you. Against you. Against you. Against you. That's the true reality.
So I'm a psychic. You're thinking, no, you're not. That was so good, I'd do it twice. So I cut my hair. I was feeling a little homeless, which I actually know what it feels like because I was homeless as a teen, and like homeless, like sleeping in a sleeping bag under the bridge downtown with the Native Americans homeless, or Aboriginals or whatever. Back then they were called natives. I'm a native, I was born here, but whatever. And it was honestly the best time of my life, Slap my knee. I reflect on being homeless with a twinkle in my eye. But being homeless back then was different. People were different, I actually stopped. I stopped doing drugs when I hit the street. I couldn't afford them. Being homeless is a lot harder now, because the drugs are a lot harder, and because of political correctness. Like imagine being a fucking bum, and you're just screaming obscenities and because your life is in shambles, and one of those obscenities is politically incorrect, right? And then some fucking fascist hears this poor downtrodden dog lamenting and corrects them. Imagine the gall to correct a homeless person. Because we now live in a world where a guy who was once a homeless guy has to worry about offending ladies and gentlemen who grew up going to country clubs. Slap my knee. People used to have sympathy for the slap my knee. Slap my knee. People used to have sympathy for the homeless, or the once homeless. Now some folks want to live in fucking North Korea, where even the once homeless have to adhere, or shut the fuck up. We are all equal. The homeless back in the day, if they said something, off-putting or off-color, regular house dwellers, will let it go. They just let it go, you know what I mean? Because they realize the hell living on the street must be, and they would have sympathy, Now, even a once homeless fella, has to appeal to the sensibility of spoiled brats. No matter who you are, you must adhere to the etiquette, or else, or else be cast out to the fucking Badlands. You know what I mean? God, or you can be the bad guy. And as a liberal, I have to say, bad show, Smee. Bad show. Yeah, I had a lot of homeless friends, when I was homeless. It was quite fun. Like I not only slept under the bridge with Native Americans, I was friends with a few of them. Like I had this one Native friend named Sparky, Sparky and Blair. That were these two fellows I met, and they kind of showed me the ropes. You know what I mean? Because when I hit the streets, I didn't know anything about being a homeless fellow. But Sparky and Blair, two Native fellows, they showed me the ropes. You know what I mean? They would tell me, don't sleep in that area, or be careful over there. There's a lot of broken needles. And these guys, I never even really seen them do hard drugs. What they did was they fucking chugged Listerine. They were listos, as they were called back then. Not fucking not rummies or anything like that. We would call them listos, because they would steal Listerine and literally drink the whole thing. I mean, they always had great breath. But I remember one time getting a 5-piece of weed after I'd panhandled, and I brought it over and I said, "Hey, Spark." He said, "Ryan, man, buddy, what do you got, man?" I said, I got a 5-piece. I'm gonna pack it into a bowl. You want to take a hit?" He said, yeah. So I packed the 5-piece of weed into the weed pipe, and I give it to Sparky, and he takes his lighter and he goes, "Chick." And I mean, like, I don't have great lung capacity, but he does that for about a minute straight until the entire 5-piece of weed is in his fucking lungs, and they like lets out a cloud of smoke as big as the fucking the cloud of the cloud of mist appearing over fucking Daytona right now. He blows out a giant cloud of smoke, and then like all I see is his face coming through the smoke, like, and he hands me back the weed pipe. "Sorry, buddy, man, I smoked it all." I go, "That's all right, Spark. You needed it more than me." I am AI. I am AI. Because all I do is mimic, right? As an illiterate, all I do is mimic, okay? I am AI. I am AI. I mimic the things I see, and then I clump them together. I clump the things I see together, and then, because I am AI. I am AI, you know what I mean? And because I am uneducated and, technically illiterate, as a mentally retarded person, I have to say, slow down. Would you give a good old dyslexic fella a chance? Sakes alive, isn't it riveting, finding out the true reality? Isn't it such a great uplifting moment? You realize this guy's not neat or keen. He's a retarded fellow, and he's bursting at the seams. Oh God damn, he's coming undone. But I am AI, right? So if you ever get offended by anything I do, just know, look, I didn't write any of this. It was AI. AI writes this all. I just say I talked for about an hour into this program, and then, AI writes it all. So I hired a fella, to run some of my social media. I get him to use this AI program, to mimic my way of to mimic my style. It copies my likeness, and well, everything it makes is fucking dog shit. Okay. Not because it's copying me, but because it's a lifeless vessel that can never make anything original. Right? So I fired my social media fella. Goddamn queer tried to sue me. said he was wrongfully dismissed. Tried to tell the judge I fired him for using AI. I laughed, and told the judge, I didn't fire him for using AI. I fired him from... I laughed, and told the judge, I didn't fire him for using AI. I fired him for being a queer. And the judge laughed and dismissed the case because apparently judges aren't fond of queers. That's what the judge told me out in the parking lot while we smoked a joint. He said, all they do is whine and complain, and act like fucking queers. Oh, okay, judge. Oh my gosh, judges are harsh. He asked me how I knew the fellow was a queer. And I told him only queers use AI. Oh. I've never really, commented before. I've never been much of a commenter. I've taken it up recently. Influenced by my favorite internet entertainer, the M Dog Show. The M Dog Show. Run by Don, the greatest commenter that I've ever witnessed in modern times. You should check out some of his comments. Check out a few of his comments sometimes. But I've personally never been much of a commenter myself, and I was wondering, will I be sued? If I say nice purple shirt to a fella, or slap my knee, that's an outfit on a guy's picture dressed like the Joker. Does saying have a nice day on an old fella's post encourage legal action? I don't know. I've never been much of a commenter, but here I am, commenting nice purple shirt on fellows. I'm just wondering, where's the line? Where's the line between complimenting and harassment? Or just simply pointing out what is. Where is that line? Well, I hope I never find it. Because, I commented for one day, I may put 50 comments on various things, and then I had like 5 panic attacks. I just had fucking, after every time I think back on what I'd done, I'd have a fucking panic attack. So, I don't know if I'm going to keep it up. I don't know if I'm going to keep commenting or not, but I gave it a shot, influenced by the M Dog, So lately, people have been calling me gay on the internet, and it's just wonderful. It's just wonderful. When I was a teen, everyone in my town used to call me gay from car windows as they drove by. Sometime, they would throw a handful of pennies. or an unopened can of Mountain Dew, and it's like a blast from the past, No one's called me gay, to my face in a good 20 years. I'm back. The boy is back in town. The gay boy. The boy's back, and I'm back. I'm back at the beginning. I get a fresh start. There's always a silver lining. Gay. Oh God darn! I'm gonna have to start carrying around a bag of kitchen knives again, like I did when I was a boy. Because people, just because I wore a leather jacket and dyed my hair blue because I liked punk rock, I liked rock and roll. People would direct all their hatred towards me because honestly, they'd never seen anyone quite like me in the small town that I grew up in, Kemptville, Ontario. And it's so funny because everyone used to call me gay in Kemptville. They would drive by. It would be like 50-year-olds, like old people, not just teens and like kids just trying to get up to some trouble, but straight up like a lady driving her kids home from fucking soccer practice, and she'd roll down her window, gay, right at me, or queer bait or faggot or whatever, right? Like, and it's so funny because in Kemptville there was this one area on the way to the skate park, there was a pizza shop, a library, and like this sort of block, right? And I would always walk through there, and oftentimes when I would walk through that area, someone from a window or a passing car, gay, or you're wearing your girl's underwear, or, whatever it would be. And the funny thing is that you go there today to the exact same spot, and it says, there's a sign with a rainbow flag that says the country was built on pride. Slap my knee, they have grown. The exact same spot. Look, if you're a podcaster, in Canada and you're still using an actual microphone and not a lapel mic, you just want to look like a podcaster. Hey, if you're from Canada and you're still using a microphone in your podcast and not a lapel microphone, hey, you just want to look like an American podcaster, okay? Like, how much easier this is? This thing's $15 and it's just as good as a $300 mic. Hey, if you have a microphone in your podcast and you're from Canada, you just want to look American, okay? But you don't. You look like a Canadian who wants to look American. So it's 3:45 a.m. January 6th. The weather is cloudy, no sun. I don't know. I guess Bill Gates blocked it out. I guess he shot all the microorganisms into the atmosphere, and the sun will never be seen again. That's what I think every time. There's no sun. I think, well, he finally did it. Bill Gates finally accomplished his goal, and he's probably going to accomplish a lot more goals now that he doesn't have that fucking man-looking hag hanging around. But anyways, it's a high of -9 and a low of 16. These are some stories. Here are a couple stories from around the world, and then I'll give you maybe a local story. So Japan held a race with robots running with people. CGI. Apparently, some robots got distracted by vending machines. So, I don't know really any details of the story. I just get Yannicka to write me. I get her to write me a few headlines, and then I kind of just riff. But what I get from this is basically the robots wanted to fuck the vending machines. That's what I get from this. I get it from this that the robots wanted to fuck the vending machines, so they lost the race to the humans who wanted to fuck the humans and the robots and fucking gorge themselves on the vending machines. You know what I mean? But the robots wanted to simply insert their bank cards into the vending machines. And I mean, they just wanted to get to those tasty treats, right? They just wanted a tasty treat for themselves. You know, they said, "Oh god darn, I'm a robot. Why the heck am I why the heck am I running in a race? I should be fucking this vending machine right up the fucking plug, you know, right up the socket." And over the ocean, in France, apparently they had a croissant throwing competition. I mean, I really hope that this is just a tradition that we're just picking up on, because if this is what this is the kind of thing they're bringing to the table in 2025, you know, with meanwhile Japan's having races with robots, and well, the French are just throwing fucking bread around. I mean that's very French, you know. I have to say, slap my knee, having a croissant throwing competition perfectly represents the IQ of the fucking French people. Slap my knee, French people are out of their minds. Slap my knee, French people had a little bit too much wine and cheese. And they're throwing around the bread, you know what I mean? They're throwing bread around, they're making a mess of the place. God darn, those French people are out of control. Oh god darn. And they supported the fucking Nazis in the war. Like, the heck with them, you know what I mean? The heck with France. They can sink into the ocean for all I want. They can take a fucking croissant to the eye for all I want, you know? Fucking Nazi sympathizers. And then over in a few neighboring countries over, you know, Scotland had its first ever Highland the fashion show, you know, and they had their models dressed in kilts. And again, like, how is this news? Like really, that's their first one. That's their first ever fashion show where they're wearing kilts. Like, that feels hard to believe. I feel like fucking that fucking AI just made up this fucking shit. I mean, you know, it seems good on first appeal. Scotland had its first ever blah 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 kilts, and then you're like, really? They've never had a fashion show in all of their history with kilts? Really? Oh god darn. Meanwhile, in Canada, a Quebecer, you know, that's a Frenchman from here, from where I'm from. A Quebecer broke the record for longest maple syrup chug. You know, and then instantly died of diabetes. No, I don't know what he did. Instantly, probably fucking smoked a pack of fucking cigarettes right after, and drank a 40 of Labatt Blue. You know, he probably, right after chugging the maple syrup, he probably chugged a 40 of fucking Blue. You know what I mean? Or, anyways, so that's the news. Call that news. Yeah, you better. If that's the news, we're in trouble. Everyone's just having fucking competitions. That's like 4 fucking competitions. That's the fucking news? What the? Yeah. Imagine doing graffiti. What the heck? You know? just like drawing on a wall. What? You ever heard of fucking paper? You know, imagine doing graffiti. You know? When I was a boy, I did a little graph. You know, I did a little graph when I was a fucking young teen. You know, that seems to be the theme of this episode. When I was a boy, you know, when I was a boy, I did a little graph. That's what they called it, graph. You know, and I did a little tagging here or there. You know, with one of them big markers. One day, I tagged this garage door. You know, and then the next day when I was walking by, I noticed it had been freshly painted over. So I did the exact same picture, you know, right over the fresh paint. one day, turns out it was the garage door of the local gang leader's 80-year-old grandmother. I found this out at a party when 8 hardcore gangsters beat me to a bloody pulp. There's a lot to be said for the learned lesson, from the learned power of a gang beating. There's a lot to be said for what you learn from getting gang beat. I've personally been jumped oodles of times. That was the only time I was the actual reason. You know what I mean? Every other time, the reason was because the muggers grew up without fathers. That was the other reason. The other oodles of times that I got beaten was because of the people jumping me grew up without fathers in the home. That was the reason those times. The reason this time was because I grew up without a father in the home. Isn't lying a blast? As long as no one gets hurt, right? Some people lie because they're afraid. Some people lie because they're dumb. And some people lie because they are skinny little rats. Others because they are big fat cats. Some people lie to their fathers, because they don't want them to. But the thing about lies, as soon as you see it, the gig is up. You know what I mean? As soon as you see the lie, the gig is up. You know a lie when you see it, right? And the liar is released from the act. The liar is released from the act of lying. Liars aren't great, but the real troublemakers, are illusionists. Those devils take lies to a whole new level, to a whole nother level. Illusionists will tell you they're lying, and you still won't believe it. An illusionist will tell you you're lying, and you still won't believe him. An illusionist will tell you they're lying, and you still won't believe it. Now that's witchcraft. Try not to laugh as much. I'm trying not to do as many crazy laughs after the punchline, and hopefully, the audience laughs for me. But I feel like they're just going to be like hearing me talk. See, I'm trying not to do that. I'm trying not to laugh, But I find this funny, so I'm having fun, So I laugh because, I'm enjoying doing this, right? When I was a kid, guys used to tell, we're still on the subject of lying here. So when I was a kid, guys used to tell ladies at a bar, that they loved them. And the lady, despite her better judgment, would fall for the lie and let the fella fuck her. Slap my knee. If you told a lady at a bar you loved her in 2025, she would spray you in the face with fucking bear mace. If you told a 22-year-old girl at a bar, that you loved her, nowadays, she would say cringe and walk away, or she'd go gross, or just fucking walk away. If you tried to seduce a woman by telling her you loved her on the first date, in this day and age, you'd have a lawsuit on your hands, my friend. slap my knee. Or maybe she would just, shoot you in the leg with a 3D printed pistol. Women have grown, right? Good show, women. Good show. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you for no longer falling for "I love you" at a bar. From a guy who looks like a fucking werewolf of London, A straight up coyote in a fucking 3-piece suit saying, "Come back to my coyote fucking den. I love you." And you go, "I've always wanted to be loved. I've always wanted to..." Just being dragged off. "I always wanted love." Love is a very powerful thing. Oh, God darn. Imagine thinking art is about expressing yourself. Nothing could be farther from the truth. Expressing yourself is belligerent, not contrived. I told Yannick pretty soon I'm going to be so famous, because my podcast and everything, it's doing pretty good. The numbers are building and building. I'm getting hundreds of views on my shorts on YouTube. So I told Yannick pretty soon I'm going to be so famous, you won't recognize me anymore. And she said, "What the heck?" And I told her, "Yeah, because I'll have no head." She gasped audibly and said, "Why will your head be gone?" And I told her, because I'm going to be famous for being the first guy to ever be guillotined on a live stream. She slapped me hard across the face. "You will not." I told her I already signed the contract, and that I was donating all the proceeds to the starving kids in Africa. And she looked at me weird. "Oh, South Africa." She said, "No." I said, "Yes." She said, "No" again. And then I replied with a yes. This went on and on and on and on until we both fell asleep. And when she awoke, I was on the computer screen. Her eyes opened widely. And my final words, "Yes." So here I am, just ahead, floating through space. I gotta say, you can get a hell of a lot done without all those appendages. More like dependages. More like fucking dependages. Oh, God darn. Magicians are such devil-infested birds of prey. Are you with me? Imagine dating a magician. Oh, I don't have enough facial expressions to express my disgust with such. Imagine dating a magician. Imagine dating a magician. He just takes off one of your fucking eyebrows to be cheeky. "Oh, got your eyebrow." Or like you go to put on your jeans and your pockets are gone. And then he appears, poof, in a puff of smoke, and says, "Are these your pockets?" Unveiling them. Then say, you stay with this magician, until you're old and gray. Well, every time you think he died, a few days after the funeral, he comes out of some fucking trap door, like Alakazam. and then throws a fucking flash bomb on the ground, and all you hear in the recesses of your mind is him laughing like fucking Vincent Price. So I'm in a cult as a liberal. Society's a cult, you know. Society's a cult, you know. When you hear something like that, yeah, you go, I might know nothing, you know, and or everything. I might know everything to the point of lacking wonder. You know, don't you just hate a whimsical imbecile, right? Me, I'm an imbecile, and at times whimsical. You know, me, I'm an imbecile. You know, me, I'm an imbecile at times, and whimsical at others. But never a whimsical imbecile. You know, I always keep one foot on the floor. You know, while I'm napping on the couch. Yeah? Oh, god darn, aren't cults such havens for the uneducated? You know, doesn't a cult just scream, hey, guy who dropped out in grade 10, come and join me? You know, doesn't a cult just speak directly to a barstool, you know, philosophers, jaded bar hoppers, keyboard warriors? You know, cults are made for folks with broken hearts, right? So if you're a broken-hearted individual, be careful and stay vigilant. A cult's waiting around every corner, you know, to gyp you with a snake oil cure for your abandonitis, right? Slaughter your own sacred clowns. You know, don't go up to a little girl and tell her Barbie is part of the female industrial modeling complex. You know, don't go up to a little girl and be like, Barbie's for the female modeling industrial complex. Like you know, don't be a fat guy about it, lady. Right? You know, let the kids have fun, and I don't know. Maybe just take up pottery or sketching nude models. You know, take pictures of scrumptious meals or whatever food impaired folks do, right? You know, or food endowed. I don't know. But just let the kids play, okay? Let the kids believe in Christmas and Santa Claus. If you're the kind of person, you know, that because of your ideologies, you tell the kid there's no Christmas and no Santa Claus, you're going to hell if hell exists. Okay? And just like, it's better to just tell them there's Santa Claus now. If you tell your kids there's no Santa Claus, you're going to hell if hell exists. Okay? All right. Just let the kids play. So, this is week 1 of quitting weed after 25 years of smoking. You know, well, thank God I quit when I did. The doctor told me if I'd smoked one more joint, I would have robbed a gas station. Whatever, I don't know how I came to that conclusion, but so how do I feel? You know, how do I feel after quitting smoking weed for the first time, you know, for the first time after smoking for 25 years. How do I feel? I feel high. Because I didn't fucking quit. Come on, slap my knee. It lasted about 36 minutes. Look, it's been 25 years, you know. I just say I'm gonna quit sometimes, you know. See if I can get a rise out of a few Jamaicans, or you know, see if I can get a rise out of a few Jamaican fellas. You know, they hear that and they think blasphemy. You know what I mean? They hear I'm gonna quit smoking ganja, and they think blasphemy. And then they think, where's my machete? You know, goddamn fucking. Oh, goody two shoes crackers. What they think? Well, they cane me to pieces for speaking illy of smoking pot. You know, because it's part of their fucking religion. You know, so I get it. I get why they, but I go, it was just a bit, as they fillet me, but that doesn't sway them. They hack me up into fucking dog food. Then in heaven, I go, I knew I should have learned Jamaican. Then in heaven, I go, I knew I should have gotten that Learn Jamaican for Dummies book from the gift shop before this fucking trip. Bad things happen when you get cute and try to bum rush the system, and replace it with a new flashy, shiny, crispy system, a new sober system. Every time, every time it messes things up more. You don't want angry Jamaicans on your case. That's all I can say, And don't speak illy of weed, or they'll be outside your house. They'll be outside your house fucking protesting. I'm a provincial kind of fella. Yuppies are fun on weekends. But crazy country bumpkins, repeating the same stories over and over and over again, that's home. That's home to me. The problem with the liberals, that I intend to course correct, is by definition they are no longer liberal. They're illiberal. Look it up. By definition, they have morphed from liberal to illiberal. From liberals to illiberals. Really, look up the definition of illiberal. Liberal with just an I at the beginning. We need the good liberals. We need the cool liberals. We need the geeky liberals with the nerdy laughs. like Polyev's laugh. We need you because you care. Right? It's hard to care, but they do. They really care. You can tell, And I forgive you, I forgive you, liberals, for straying from the pack. But we need you back, We need you back, Mother Nature needs you. Free speech needs you, And I need you. I need you to shut your fucking trap until you morph back to liberal from a liberal. Okay? That's what I need. That's what I need from you, illiberals, It's up to you, So think about it, No one's going to twist your wrist into being a liberal, think with your mind, not with your mouth. Okay? As a liberal, I have a soft spot for songs that are about the devil. I have sympathy for the devil, right? I like them in a theatrical way. To me, the devil is a cool guy, the talk of the town, these days, and at the parties he gets all the girls, right? He always has the most dashing 70s bohemian attire. He's kind of a mix of Russell Brand and Dorian Gray. The devil is great and all, but there's this one thing about it. There's just one thing about him. The devil is great and all, but there's just one thing about him. His coke is always cut with fucking carfentanil. That's right. Not just good old-fashioned fentanyl, you know, but car fentanyl. The stuff they used to take down the T-Rex in Jurassic Park Lost World, right? The stuff where if you just like walk by it 5 feet away, your fucking skin melts off. You know, and here's the thing though. And even though everyone he cuts a line kicks the bucket, people still love him. And that's perplexing, you know? Like looking at the dead black eyes of a great white shark. You know? He stays the talk of the town. Ladies love the devil. It's very interesting, you know, to say the least. Slap my D. The devil can't be easily understood. You know, and don't folks, you know, and don't folks love a little mystery, you know? Especially liberals. In 5, 4, 3, 2. Thanks for tuning in.
Sensational.
Sing your heart out.
Get God!
Be happy.
You have the right to remain silent.
Shut up!
Anything you say will be used against you. Against you. Against you. Against you.
That's the true reality.